What's up, Scorpio? Welcome to your September 2020 reading. So we are doing this reading a little bit different, as you can see with the setup and the camera and everything. I wanted to really film the cards because this just is easier for me sometimes. So that's how we are doing your reading, and that way you can see the cards. So if you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle, and we are not all love, light, twin flames, and unicorns over here, so please keep that in mind when watching this video. And this is your September 2020 Tarot and Astrology reading. I hope you guys are good, Scorpio. I know it's been a minute, so let's go ahead and get into your cards. I have some oracle cards here for you guys and some tarot cards to let us know how your month of September is going to go, and as always, I'm going to be kind of weaving some astrology in there as well. So the first part of your month, Scorpio, we have a Pisces full moon, and this Pisces full moon is your fellow water sign. So this full moon's happening in your fellow water sign of Pisces, and it's happening in a place for you that is really, really positive. It is all about, love, romance, our feelings, and our passions. It's also about children and the inner child. It is also about our romances and the things that we like to do for fun. But this full moon is, there are some other hard aspects going on with this full moon. So some of the things that you could experience at the beginning of this month, Scorpio, are possibly random insights to do with your relationships, with your love life, random insights, or wanting to shake things up in some way, because this new moon is aspecting Uranus in your opposite sign of Taurus. So you could start feeling like you really want to shake things up, or you want to do something different, or your partner could be feeling this way. It can also manifest in your partner as well. Maybe they do something random or unexpected, or maybe they're wanting to kind of shake things up or do something different. So right at the beginning of the month, we kind of start the month with that kind of energy. This could also have something to do, like if you have children, this could be something with your children, some kind of confusion or clarity or miscommunication that happens here. Either way, it's definitely bringing some intensity to your relationship sector, and this is your relationship with basically anybody, any of the connections that you have in your life. So that's what we have going on in the first part of the month. Let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards for you guys to see what else is happening. So we have Come to Life, and we also have Free from Judgment, Free to Love. Wow, okay. So wow, Scorpio. So you guys could definitely be breaking free of some things in the month of September. September is a big effing month for everybody, no matter what sign you are. So there's going to be a lot of kind of energy like that, like breaking free from things, making changes, separating from certain things, endings, all of these kinds of things. We are definitely making changes. We are definitely shaking things up. So with this Come to Life card, this is very, very creative. As you can see, she's got the paintbrush and she's like painting herself. And so Scorpio, I think this is a month where you have been maybe stagnant or feeling stuck for a while, or feeling like your life's kind of gray, or there's like not much happiness to it. Well, this Pisces full moon is going to shake things up for the first couple weeks of the month. It's and it's aspecting Uranus in your opposite sign. So, this is really kind of putting an energy out there for you to like do something new, to do something different, to do something unique, to express your individuality, to express your passions, to get creative in some way. And free from judgment, free to love, I think it goes with the same thing. I think this is like allowing your heart to open, allowing your creativity to flow, and not worrying about judgment or whatever. I also think that this speaks from relationship stuff. Some of you guys may be breaking free from certain commitments, okay? Certain kind of burdens or responsibilities, or certain relationship dynamics, or relationships for some of you guys. There's definitely an energy here of allowing yourself to explore yourself and explore the realms of love and the different kind of dimensions and experiences of love from different angles, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and see what your other cards are. Wow, okay, we have new beginnings. And then we also have truth. Interesting. So yeah, and you know, this definitely can be about expressing your truth. Mercury is going to be in Libra, which is the sign right before yours. So it's a very kind of hidden area of your chart, Scorpio. So this could bring about hidden truths, hidden insights, things from your subconscious that are true about yourselves. I really see a lot of healing with this. Where have you been not being authentic to yourself? Because for the first part of September, we have the Queen of Swords reversed. So, you know, and we have that card truth. So where have you not been speaking your truth, or where have you been suppressing your truth? Where have you been holding yourself back? Is there some kind of contract or commitment, or, you know, verbal or written agreement that is just not working out in your life, Scorpio? Clarifying the Queen of Swords, we have the Wheel of Fortune here. So yeah, I think some random stuff is coming out, some random insights, but I think with the Queen of Swords here reversed, it's almost like they're coming out. Oh, I'm sorry, this Wheel of Fortune is reversed too. I think this is inwards, like you're understanding new truths about yourself. You're understanding new insights about yourself. You're having these revelations about yourself, and you're getting out of this gray area. You're finally like allowing yourself to put some more color in your life. You know what I mean? And with the Wheel of Fortune reversed, it may kind of come across like something may happen in the beginning of September that may come across like it is something that is not the best, okay? Like it may seem like, oh, this sucks, you know, but it actually is helping you break free. So I think your hidden truth with this Queen of Swords and Wheel of Fortune, Scorpio, is that you are, this inward truth is that you have this inner need to break free of something. You have this inner need to shake things up in some way because you've been feeling possibly very stagnant for a little bit in some area of your life. And so I think this inward need to break free, to express your authentic truth instead of repress it, is really kind of coming to the surface in that very first week of September. So let's go ahead and move on to your second week. So for the second week, you have the Five of Swords reversed. So for whatever reason, when I got this card, when I pulled this card, I immediately thought of regret or remorse or holding something in, something along those lines, kind of like this Queen of Swords, but a little bit differently, because I do feel like this is a little bit more to do with a social situation in your life. This is where something has been unbalanced or unfair for too long, but it's been ignored or repressed or avoided. And so once again, we have this kind of truth element coming to the surface and clarifying this Five of Swords. Look at that, is the Two of Cups. So this is very much about like kind of seeing where things have not worked out, or where things have not been how you, how do I want to say this? Like if there's something that you've kind of been holding in, or that you regret not saying, or that you regret saying, or something along those lines, I feel like there's a chance for you to make amends for this, or for you to work this out, to connect this in some way, to connect this situation, to mediate this situation, to kind of make friends. And it doesn't necessarily mean connect with the other person that's involved, if there is. I mean, for some of you, that could be the case. But really, I'm also getting this is a chance for you to express your emotions and not fight, okay? Now is not a good time with Mars going retrograde this month to initiate some kind of fight. It's okay to speak your truth, but to come at it from an angle of I'm right and you're wrong kind of thing could definitely initiate a fight. It's okay to defend yourself, but I would definitely say that you don't want to initiate some kind of fight here, is really what I'm seeing. So what I see here is you possibly coming together in a certain way, either with someone else or with yourself. Forgiveness is really what I'm seeing here, because following this, we also have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is content in her emotions. She is comfortable in her emotional realm, in her emotional body. Therefore, Scorpio, I feel like, the Queen of Cups has compassion, has love. And so I feel like the third week of September, you're starting to kind of open your heart a little bit more. You're starting to kind of forgive. You're starting to kind of let go of who was right or who was wrong. And you're starting to really embrace your inner vulnerability or your inner truth. And I know vulnerability is a scary word for Scorpio, but that's what I see here. And clarifying it, look at that, we have the Empress. So definitely very much about like embracing the beauty of your emotions, embracing the beauty of your femininity, because Scorpio is a feminine sign. But this is very much about embracing the beauty within and without. This is being more confident within yourself, And it's interesting because Mars goes retrograde during this second week, and Venus moves into a spot for you that is all about how you appear in the world, your reputation, your career, like your, social status and things like that. And so I do feel like, with Mars going retrograde and Venus going in this place for you, I think that you are kind of reflecting on actions or things that may have been done or said, or regrets or shame that you have within, and mending it in some way. And then moving on to the third week, with Venus in that spot for you, you are really allowing yourself to get creative, to come to life. You're freeing yourself from judgment or your own guilt or your own judgment. And then this last week here, we have the High Priestess and the Three of Wands. So what I'm seeing here is that for this last week, you're feeling more discerning. You're really going within. You're really trusting your intuition. You've broken free from this kind of look, like the black and white pillars. You've broken free from this middle ground where you felt like stagnant, where you felt unseen. And you're transcending duality. You're transcending this right or wrong way of looking at things, this way of judging things, basically. So, and then for, the clarifying card, we have the Three of Wands. And what's interesting is these last 2 weeks, we have the energy from the Virgo new moon, which is happening in a spot for you that is all about, your social connections and your goals, your wishes. And so I really see you being very passionate this third week of September. And then into the end of September, I see you feeling very much more of an inner knowing and inner confidence, like a need to not have to express or fight for yourself. It's more of like a need to be silent and be more intuitively optimistic about your future, about your plans, about your goals. Like you're kind of intuitively setting out on this adventure, on this sense of purpose, on this sense of a mission. So you may be having some kind of plans, or you may be meeting. For some of you, you could even be meeting with some kind of occultist or like psychic, astrologer, tarot reader, healer. For some of you, you could be making plans to do that, or making plans to do some kind of spiritual work. But what I see here is that you're really kind of intuitively like feeling guided to do something. You're intuitively feeling guided to do something, and you have this inner knowing that you are really, really sure of. And it makes sense because Jupiter and Saturn are going direct at different times this month in a spot for you that is about your what you know and your perception and your mind and the way that you communicate. And so you've been having a lot of tension there with communication, messages, your environment, with how you interact with people and your perception, the facts and learning. And you've been like really adamant about getting the truth, but it's almost like you end up going within to find your own inner truth, and then you transcend this duality and this like right or wrong, self-righteousness kind of energy, which I think is going to be very freeing and a relief for you. So yeah, so now that we went over your cards, let's kind of go back to your astrology. So Mars is retrograding on September 9th in a spot for you that is all about your daily routines, your lifestyle, your health, your habits, you know, your work, what you do on a day-to-day basis, your schedules, all of these kinds of things. So Mars retrograde here is definitely going to have you it's going to mess up your routine a little bit. You're going to have to kind of find a new way to go about your routines, to go about your health, to go about your lifestyle. You're going to have to kind of find a new way to really kind of deal with all of that. And it's going to be squaring that energy and Capricorn, you know, so this is really changing your perception on your health, your lifestyle, your work. It is changing your perception on how you act, you know, on a day-to-day basis, how you go about getting what you want, how you go about the day, how you go about your routines, how you go about your health, you know, and how you go about work situations. So it's really going to kind of force you to buckle down, to make some changes in your day-to-day lives, your routines, you know, all of these kinds of things. But definitely I would say your health, because Mars is the ruler of your sign, Scorpio. So that's you as well as your health. And so I really think that you're going to be really reflecting on how you go about your lifestyle, you know, to find a lifestyle that is more fulfilling and more comfortable for you, to allow yourself to, you know, kind of reflect a little bit more before you act, to be a little bit more disciplined, to be a little bit more discerning about what you're putting into your body, or what you're doing at work, or how you're going about things on a day-to-day basis. Now, we also have on the 17th, the Virgo new moon, like I was kind of talking about before. And this is going to be in a spot for you that is all about your social connections, groups of people, your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, self-realization, these kinds of things. Basically, you know, what you want to do out in the world, how you maybe want to help people out in the world, things like that. So, but this Virgo new moon is going to be squaring the nodes and Sag and Gemini, which for you deal with money and resources and values. So this Virgo new moon could definitely possibly put you in a position where you may need to collaborate with someone, where you may need to get along with someone else to develop some kind of solution for a financial situation, for resources, or where maybe you can contact an organization, something along those lines. But it's definitely kind of putting you in a position where you may need to kind of work together with someone or some kind of company or something in order to really achieve your goal, basically, is what I'm seeing there. So that is basically it. I've kind of went over everything else throughout the reading. So that is basically your reading, Scorpio. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know down below if it ends up resonating. And yeah, I will see you in my other videos. Have a good month. Bye.